Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshakar, and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, in these episodes, we talk to you about emerging companies from emerging sectors and make it a point to talk to the promoters of such companies. The basic purpose to talk to the promoters of such companies is to understand their company's business model better, talk to them about their growth journey and their future growth plans. And friends, today we've got a very interesting company which is going to hit the SME capital market very soon. The company's name is Veritaas Advertising Limited, and we have the pleasure of having the managing director, Mr. Banerjee, with us. Devji, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time with us today. I'm pretty sure, Devji, that in this small interaction, we'll be able to understand your companies better, which will help our investors quite immensely.
Thank you for having me here, and a very good afternoon to you, and a very good afternoon to all your viewers.
Yeah. Okay. So first question, Devji, which I want to ask is basically if you could, explain to us what is the broad business model of our company, and typically, if you could also tell us some part of your business journey. How did you start this company, and what has been the kind of earlier experience you have had in this sector specifically, so that we can understand both you as well as the company's profile in a much better manner.
Actually, I'm into this advertising sector for almost 2 decades now. I have been into many kinds of roles, and I've created media. I've gone into innovation on media, and then I've worked in milestone companies also who were stalwarts in this sector for the last 40-50 years. So after that, we started our journey from 31st of July 2018, wherein we thought, let's do our own, let's do it our own. And then from there on till date, it's been a very eventful journey. We have catered to many clients. We have done beautiful innovations for clients, and we have catered to pan India clients. Though we started from Kolkata, but now we are catering to MNC clients all over the country. And currently, we are having our office in Kolkata. We are having our office in Guwahati, Shillong, Delhi, and very soon we'll be opening our office in Mumbai also. So
Okay.
everything is going good, and we look forward to a beautiful journey from here on.
I think nicely articulated by you, Devji. Now, Devji, tell me one thing. You mentioned that you're basically, present pan India, but largely focused on, the eastern side, that is, West Bengal. Tell me one thing that typically, in terms of the business exposure, are you concentrated more on the digital side or on the billboard side? If you could tell us something about your, your revenue mix, what kind of revenue comes from which segment of the advertising market? That would help us understand our company's operations in a much better manner.
We actually prioritize the outdoor portion, outdoor advertising, that's what we call it, wherein we have billboards, we have police booths, we have transit advertising. These are all big departments in our organization. Along with that, of course, we have started the digital part also, which contributes to something around 15 to 20% now. So 80% of entire business and collections coming from the outdoor sector. And our experience also holds from the outdoor advertising sector only.
Okay. No, understood. I think this data point was also present in your prospectus. So just wanted to validate this point from you. Now, Deju, tell me one thing in terms of which kind of sectors or which kind of customers do you cater? Like you mentioned that you cater to MNC as well as domestic clients. Sectorally, if you could tell us, which are the sectors typically broadly, which our company has been catering to. Any idea about whether it is manufacturing, whether it is FMCG, or whether it is consumption kind of services, or products and services? A little bit of flavor on what sectors you cater, and which have been the sectors which have actually driven growth for us in the last, say, 2 to 3 years. If you could broadly tell us these data points.
Absolutely. Actually, see, advertising is a subject wherein more or less all the sectors are involved. Some sectors involved in a massive way, and some they have fixed budgets for the year. Now, for us, we have predominantly been guided, and our business predominantly comes from sectors like automobile, jewelry, FMCG, and education institutions. So these are some predominant sectors which are continuously giving us business year on year. But along with that, we are also adding up other sectors as well, and every year we find it, we add on to our experience. Every year the map changes. Why? Because every sector has their own plan for this, for a particular financial year, and next year they have a separate plan. So the graph changes, but more or less, the 2 3 sectors that predominantly gives us business are the sectors that I mentioned in the beginning.
Okay, I think understood. Devji, now tell me one thing in terms of your marquee customers. If you could tell us some of the names, which can help us understand our company's profile better, because you have mentioned some names in the prospectus, but if you could still reiterate and mention few names, that would actually help our investors, understand the profile of our company in a much better way.
Absolutely, sir. So we are serving companies like Mitsubishi Electric. We are serving Honda Motorcycles, Greenply, Star Cement, PC Chandra Jewelers, Pan India. Entire campaigns of that particular client, Pan India, taken care by us. Then we have Star Cement, Bosch, Manipal Hospital, Dabur, Birla Corporation, to name a few. We
Okay,
also have GPT Healthcare. They also got listed just few days back. They are also our
yeah.
clients, and
Okay.
other companies to add on to.
Okay. No, I think nicely told by you. In fact, a very well diversified base. Devji, now tell me one thing within these customers, broadly, is there a kind of slight level of concentration on maybe the top 5 or top 10 customers? I mean, if that is the case, then is it largely tilted towards more of your automobile customers or maybe the jewelry sector? Something on that, because, obviously, if it is well diversified, it's more than welcome. But otherwise, if there is a level of concentration, which kind of corporate clients is the larger part of the revenue coming for the company? If you could just broadly tell us.
No, actually, see, this basic concentration keeps changing. The top five is a different top five every year,
Oh,
and that helps us a lot. You know why? Because we also gain experience catering to a client. Like in my diversified portfolio, I haven't mentioned ITC, though ITC is our client, but
oh,
ITC, obviously was a different volume giver last year. This year, obviously, other clients have given us better volumes. So this
oh,
basic diversified portfolio helps us gaining experience over clients, and it always helps us because we are not tilted towards a particular sector. It's changing year on year, so we change our strategies year on year also.
okay. Understood. I think again nicely articulated by you. Devji, now tell me one thing on a broader basis. You are largely present on the outdoor segment, as you rightly said. And obviously you all have now started making an inroads on the digital side. On both these segments, as a promoter who has been in the industry for such a long time, who understands this industry in a much better way, can you tell us, in a very broad way, that what is the kind of opportunity we see for the industry, over the next say 3 to 5 years, and in that perspective, how is Veritas Advertising going to capitalize on this growth? So if you could, please share your thoughts.
Absolutely. Here on, I would just express a small incident that happened just in the current financial year. Mitsubishi Electric is one of our big clients, and we are very honored to serve them in a very innovative way. Now they are coming up with a factory in South India. They have opened their own plant, so they'll be manufacturing their ACs from here. Now, this is a small this is a small development that has happened in their business, but to us it has come up in a very positive manner because their advertising spends have gone up. They want innovation. They are targeting more states because obviously their business module is different. Previously they used to import ACs from outside the country. Now they are manufacturing it inside India. So situations like this are coming up with almost all the clients, wherein they are increasing their spends. India is very nicely positioned in the world map, wherein businesses are going good, the markets are going good. So in that case, I am sure advertising spends will increase, wherein our existing clients will increase their spends. That will give us increased business, and we will also tap into new clients because we are going out with the new offices in other metro cities, wherein we will also have added clients, new clients with increased business volume.
Okay, no, understood. Devji, now when you talk about new clients and new offices, one question which comes to my mind is that, typically when you meet a customer, a new customer, what are the broad expectations of the customer from you as an advertising agency, and how do you offer value on the table? Like, what are the things which you highlight? If you could please tell us so that we can get to understand, what is the kind of competitive moat you enjoy in the business.
In our sector, the biggest challenge that is there is the timeline that has to be adhered to. Now, a campaign can be innovative, but the biggest thing is that it has to be basically, it has to go live in a particular timeline. Now, Veritas is on a mode to a 24 by 7 scenario on a shifting mode. That means in Kolkata or in the eastern part, there are people who basically perform or work for 12 hours or 14 hours. But we are trying to align our factory and our entire office to a 24 by 7 module, wherein we will work faster on a shifting module and will complete the campaigns much faster than the industry standards. This is the biggest thing where we need to match up with the client, and along with that there is creativity, there is quality, and there is other paraphernalia that needs to be maintained, which automatically we do over, and which is the experience that we have over a long period of time.
Okay, understood. Now this brings me to another question, Devji, is that you said you want to have a 24 by 7 kind of approach so that you can execute your timelines in a much better way. So currently,
Yes.
what is the kind of staff strength which Veritas has got? How many people does the company have, in across all the departments, apart from marketing, sales, the creative departments? And secondly, I want to understand that typically, normally when you get a new client, how is the pricing decided? Is it depending on a customized basis? Because obviously every assignment is, going to be different. But then how does pricing in our industry work? If you could give us some inputs on this, please.
It is morely on a customized basis, project to project, but wherein we have certain mediums, we own certain mediums, we have created certain mediums where we can control the pricing. So therein it is more or less the same pricing across all the clients. We tend to maintain a certain pricing for all clients, which gives a very positive feeling to all clients. And otherwise, there are certain media standards, there are certain market standards that we follow, and
Yeah.
more or less the pricing is based on that only.
Okay. And typically, Devji, one question which got left out is that, how many, what is the kind of staff strength at our company? If you could give us some idea about, what kind of number of people are there with us, what is the kind of profile of experience people have been put up at Veritas, that could also give us an idea about the extent of creativity and the effort which goes behind all your efforts.
We have almost 75 people on board who are on payroll, and we have another 100 people who are working with us project on a project basis.
Okay, fine. And
And this entire team is like the 100 people who work with us on project basis are like artisans and skilled laborers, and the 75 people, they are all officer grade people who have been in this industry for a very long time. So they are now working with Veritas for a long time, and we are doing projects one after the other with their able competence.
okay. No, understood. Devji, now in this industry, do you get normally a high percentage of revenue from your repeat customers, or is it like you continue to add more and more customers across industry verticals? And secondly, I want to understand that typically, how sensitive is the client when it comes to pricing? Like, are they comfortable in spending a little more if they get a good quality content, a better theme? Because obviously this industry is all about innovation, and obviously innovation comes at a cost. So I want to understand, do you have a bucket of clients who are keen on spending more? Obviously, they want a different approach, a different theme. So on this, how is the overall, strategy of Veritas? Do you focus more on the pricing, or do you focus more on the, excitement and the innovation part, which helps your clients actually monetize more? Because ultimately, advertising is, meant to generate more revenues and more eyeballs. So if you could please share,
Yes.
on this point.
See, actually, it is a mix of both. We have clients who really want quality work, and they specify you give me the best possible outcome, wherein the maximum eyeballs are hit. So for those clients, we plan accordingly as per their requirement. And there are many customers who say, "See, I have a X amount of a budget. You have to
Yeah.
give as much possible in that X budget." For their plans are made in that favor. So it's a mix of both, I would say.
Okay. Okay. No, understood. So you have to balance both pricing as well as the
Yes.
quality, and I think that eventually helps you to get the best out of the clients, and the clients also get the best out of it. So I think understood. Now let's come to
Yes.
the financials, Devji. I was seeing there was a dramatic improvement in your current year financials, that is FY24. The revenues have moved up to almost 9 crores, whereas last year for full year we earned about 7.75 crores. So very massive improvement. And again, profit after tax, for the current year is almost 1.57 crores, and previous year it was 44 lakhs. Now, typically, just
Yes, yes.
wanted a simple observation that what was the reason for such a sharp increase, and going forward, now since FY24 is almost financial year is almost complete, what is your assessment without giving numbers, Devji? What is your assessment on the growth for the coming financial year? That is for FY25 broadly. How do you expect this year to pan out?
I would actually give you a very elaborate explanation to why it came to that value. Basically, in the last 1 year, we have become an end-to-end organization. We are currently in a no outsourcing mode. Like we fabricate our own innovation, we print our own flexes, we have our own structures where it is done, and not only that, we are coming up with with a green revolution. We are using green revolution in the printing technology, so for which we are not dependent on any outside vendors for the campaigns that we do. Now, this all happened in the last 1 year, for which our profits came up to a nice scenario, as you said.
Okay.
Now, in the next 1 year, we will continue to do this, and we will continue to add more clients, so have more business. And what I see from here on, another 50% increase would be absolutely possible in the next financial year to come.
Okay, fine. Understood. And typically, when you say 40-50% growth, I also would like to know that, normally in our business, Devji, what is the kind of working capital which is required? Like typically, from the time you execute the advertising campaign, and obviously, the milestone is covered, like one part of the milestone, then do these payments come on a continuous basis, or like you have to make some upfront payment to your vendors, and then, obviously get the advertising campaign off the shelf, and once things are complete, then you get the payment. So broadly, if I were to ask you, what is the normal payment cycle from your customers, and obviously the working capital side, because our business is largely working capital intensive. It's not an asset intensive business. So typically, what is the working capital timeline, in our business like?
Basically, obviously, when you're doing a campaign, you have to invest on a step by step scenario, and then obviously the payment comes on a 90 to 120 day cycle with
Okay.
existing clients. So that's the
Okay.
industry standard, and we also adhere by that. And obviously there are some other type of projects, and with new clients we get advances also, but that's a one-off case. Otherwise, mostly it's a 90 to 120 day scenario.
Oh, oh, no, understood. Okay, now we come to the most important question for today is that companies planning to go public, Devji. Now, tell me one thing. If you could please share with us some data points as to what is the size of the issue we are planning, and what is the main objective of raising money. If you could please share your thoughts on this.
Yeah, actually, see, we are trying to raise a certain amount, for which we will be doing a particular media generation, that is a police booth that we call. Police booths are media that we have come up with. It is part of our innovative and innovation project, wherein the police personals all over the country, they will be doing duty on the booth, and the advertisement is just on top. This is an innovation
Right.
that we have come up with, and we have already done it in the east. We will be
Okay.
starting to install these police booths in Maharashtra and also in Delhi NCR. Later part of the year, we'll be starting in South India also. So our entire IPO proceeds will be used for this, and the rest will be obviously for other general expenses.
Okay, so basically, the large part of the money is going to be used for these, booths, phone booths, which you mentioned, just like
Yes,
police booths, which actually will
absolutely.
drive the advertising campaign. So you require a little bit of funds there, and the rest of the money will be
Yes,
used for general corporate purposes. Fine. Okay,
yes,
now
yes, yes.
the next question, Devji, is also important. Is that what is the kind of debt we have on the books? Like, since this part is also important, do we have significant debt on the books, or I mean, debt is not something which we have relied upon? If you could give us some flavor on this.
Yeah, actually, uh, on a broader scale, we don't have any huge amount of long-term debts. No, we only have a CC of a certain amount that we use for our working capital requirements, and that will carry on. Otherwise, there are no plans of taking any long-term debts. and there are no other debts as such. The other certain machine expenses and all are there that are getting cleared on a planned manner. As of now, this will be the same paraphernalia that will be followed in the future also.
Okay. Okay. Now, since we are going to make the public issue as a promoter, you have been, involved right from the day one. New set of investors are now going to join the growth journey going forward, Devji. So, on a very broader basis, what could be your message to the shareholders? Because everybody comes to the market to expect, decent returns over the longer term. Broadly, as a promoter, Devji, what could be your message to them? How would you help them to generate wealth over the longer term by putting money in your IPO? If you could please share your thoughts.
Absolutely. See, we are Veritas is now placed in a situation where we are absolutely on a path to growth. Why? Because the first journey has already been completed. From here on, we grow. We go to other states. We have our presence felt. We add on to more clients, and we increase our turnover. So our figures are absolutely on the path of growth, which I also said before. So if the figures grow, if the valuation grows, obviously the entire scenario will be on a profitable scale, and then the share values and everything will go up accordingly.
So I think very well and rightly said. So we do hope that going forward also Veritas does remarkably well, not only for the company but also for the prospective investors. Last question, Devji, which is also very important, from a business standpoint. Typically in the advertising market, since you have been in this market for such a long time, can you tell us what are the broader risks, in our business? Like COVID was a different, animal altogether. But I mean, longer term, what are the kind of risks associated with the advertising market, and how have you managed to, manage them so optimally and remain above the water? So, clearly, if you could please share your thoughts on this point.
This is a very, very good question, and I actually would love to answer this. The biggest threat in our industry is the team that actually innovates and gets the job done. And for that reason, we nurture our team in a very special way. And the second thing that we have done, and that was always my motto, was to have the end-to-end solution under the banner of the organization. And that is why the all the departments are absolutely finely aligned with manpower that has been linked with the organization for a long time now. So basically, we have our own manpower because that is our strength. That is the strength in this particular sector. In advertising, it's human element that plays the biggest role. So we have our own team. That is a prized possession of Veritas. Secondly, the clients are very strict on their timelines, for which we are trying to better it every day. This is basically a 24/7 business. I personally have sat with clients and finalized ad campaigns at 2 o'clock in the night, because it was the client's requirement. So balancing oneself, one's own discipline with the discipline of the client is the biggest challenge, which we always take care of. And that is why I said my motive is to get into a 24/7 shifting module, wherein all clients can get into their own time frame and get Veritas by their side. So this is one thing that we are bettering every day. We are adding on more manpower, more resourced manpower who will be taking the important positions. In this manner, we can balance it out, and we can stay ahead with other competitors. And Veritas being young, we have a fast pace of work. So we'll better that so that we can grow faster.
So I think very nicely articulated by you, Devji. I think very nice interview where we would we are really a lot of good inputs have been shared by you. So thank you very much, and best wishes from me for you as well as your entire management team, and best wishes for your forthcoming public issue also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.